5 reasons why Notre Dame will defeat Indiana and advance to face Georgia in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. First reason is home field advantage. I don't think this is going to play a huge factor in this game, but obviously you want to play these games at home. I wonder how many Indiana fans will actually be at this game. You see a lot of times the visitors travel pretty well to Notre Dame. A lot of fans want to go to Notre Dame. Obviously, this is not too far to travel. So, yeah, that is very interesting to see how that plays out. But obviously, it's going to be an advantage. Again, I don't think it's going to be a huge advantage for Notre Dame, but I do think it is an advantage for sure. And like I said, you want to play at home. There is a reason why they give the home field advantage to the higher seeds. It is an advantage, and I think this will be an advantage for Notre Dame and could potentially be a difference maker, could help them to win this game. Next reason why Notre Dame could beat Indiana, it's turnovers. So turnovers could obviously play a major factor in this game. Turnovers always seem to be big in determining the winner of a college football game. I mean, it matters a lot. And you look at where Notre Dame ranks nationally and in all of college football. They are number 1 in the country in forced turnovers. They have forced 28 turnovers this season. That's over 2 turnovers a game. It's really good. And you just look at their turnover margin. They're number 2 in the country there. That plus 1.33. Now, Indiana is not far behind them at all. Their turnover margin is actually 1.25. And they've only lost 8 turnovers all season long. So it's not like Notre Dame has this huge advantage, but it is something they're good at. And if they can force some turnovers against Indiana, a team that, again, has taken care of the football, but you kind of go back to home field advantage. Can they handle the pressure going on the road? Or handle the environment, I should say, going on the road? Maybe Notre Dame can force them into a couple of turnovers. And again, if Notre Dame wins the turnover battle in this game, especially if they win it by like 2 or more, I would almost guarantee that Notre Dame will win this game. Next reason is the pass defense for Notre Dame. They are very, very good in terms of pass defense. You look at where they rank nationally, they're number 3 in the country. They only give up 158 yards per game through the air. Indiana's pretty good throwing it. They average 265 yards a game. They're ranked 29th in passing offense. But I do think that this is still an advantage for Notre Dame. I think their pass defense will outplay the pass offense for Indiana, and that could be a big reason why they win this game. Not just with the secondary, which is really good, but also you look at the pass rush for Notre Dame. They've got a decent pass rush as well. They get 2.5 sacks per game. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But this is an advantage for Notre Dame. It's an Indiana team that likes to be balanced, but they definitely lean more on that passing game. Curtis Rourke maybe didn't play as well in some of the big games this year. Maybe they didn't have a lot of big games, but against Michigan and Ohio State didn't play as well. So I think Notre Dame's pass defense is definitely going to have an advantage, and if they can slow down the passing attack for Indiana, obviously that's going to go a long ways towards helping them get a win in this one. Next reason why Notre Dame could win this game is their offensive line. This is a very good offensive line. I would say probably the best offensive line that Indiana has faced all season. You look at Notre Dame up front, they only give up 1.25 sacks per game. That's very, very solid. And then you look at their run game, of course, they average 225 yards per game. That's number 10 in all of college football. They want to run the football. Now, Indiana is really good against the run, so it's going to be strength on strength. In fact, Indiana has the number 1 rushing defense in all of college football. You look at games against Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State did run for over 100 yards, but they didn't go off. They didn't go crazy in that game running football. Michigan was held under 100 yards. I think they only had 70 yards or something. So, yeah, Indiana has proven that they can stop the run, but I don't think they face an offensive line this good. So I think that is going to be a big factor in this game. Can Notre Dame protect up front? Can they keep Riley Leonard upright? I mean, that's going to be a big story here. Indiana's, not only their run defense is good, but their pass rush is pretty good as well. They're number 20 in the country with 2.83 sacks per game on defense. So they are good at going after the quarterback. They're very good against the run. It's a good defensive line for Indiana, Notre Dame will have to win that battle. If they cannot win up front, I think they're in big trouble. But I think they have the offensive line that's going to give them a chance to do just that. And like I said, I think this is the best offensive line that Indiana would have faced all year long. It's going to be a great test. It's strength on strength. And at the end of the day, if Notre Dame wins this game, a big reason why is because of their offensive line and if they can hold up front. Final reason why Notre Dame could win this game, it's not the offensive line, but the defensive line. I think that is going to be the story of the game. If Notre Dame wins, it's going to be because of their defensive line. They get 2.5 sacks per game. That's pretty solid getting to the quarterback. But you look at what Indiana has done when they have faced good defensive lines. In the 2 games against Ohio State and Michigan, just looking at those 2 games, Ohio State had 5 sacks versus Indiana. Michigan had 4 sacks versus Indiana. Indiana on the year only gives up 1.5 sacks per game. So they're very good normally at protecting the quarterback, but against those good defensive fronts, they really struggled. Notre Dame has a good defensive front. They just do. You look at, and not only the pass rush, but the defensive line overall for Notre Dame. It's going to be a real challenge for Indiana. And like I said, if Indiana wins this game, they're going to have to offset that. They're going to have to hit some screens. They're going to have to keep the defense for Notre Dame guessing a defensive line. Have to keep them, trying to figure out, is it going to be a pass, is it going to be a run, is it going to be a screen, whatever it's going to be, they're going to have to keep them guessing up front. And that's going to be, I think, the key to this game. If they don't do that and Notre Dame's defensive line wins that battle, I think it's going to be tough for Indiana to win this game. So, again, if Notre Dame wins, I think the number one reason, you will look back and you say the number one reason why they won this game, it's because of their defensive line. If they can get it done there, I think the Irish will win this game.